Hello, and welcome to Soda Review Channel, where today we'll be drinking this, I'm gonna say Chilsung, because I don't speak Korean. Um, I'm guessing realistically it might be like Sung? I don't know. I don't speak Korean. You know what, I probably could have looked that up, but I didn't. Anyway, um, it is labeled lemon lime soda, although on the cap it says cider, and that's also printed directly into the bottle. And from what I can tell, that is how it is sold in other markets. I'm not sure why it's not sold that way here. I would guess that it's because cider means a really different thing than lemon lime soda here. But then that begs the question, what does cider mean in other countries? And also, what would they call cider if not cider? I don't know. But if you know, leave 53 comments below telling me all about it for that sweet, sweet engagement. I'm not saying 53 people should leave a comment. I'm saying that you, viewer, should leave 53 comments yourself. Anyway, so um, this is a pretty old drink actually, and is a big seller in Korea. It's yeah, I don't know where I was going with that sentence. Um, so this was originally released in 1950, and they actually released a cola product in the 1960s. But at some point, it seems that was discontinued, and they are now the national distributor for Pepsi in South Korea, and they probably make more money doing that than selling their own cola. But I think their cola probably would have been pretty interesting to try. Let's talk about this though. What's in here? This like diagonally printed nutrition label is very interesting, but it is hard to read. All right, ingredients. I have to get this in the light just right. Ingredients: filtered water, high fructose corn syrup, cane sugar. Okay, we have both of them. That's interesting. Carbon dioxide, that's going to be the carbonation. Citric acid, natural lemon lime flavor. You know, I kind of assumed that's what the citric acid was for. Um, the label is, by the way, in Korean on this side. It's kind of interesting. Um, Notably, this isn't really what we would typically think of as an imported drink. It does say product of Korea, um, but it's labeled in English. This is very clearly bottled specifically for, if not the US market, then English speaking markets. Um, yeah, I'm thinking I expect it to be kind of Sprite like. Um, Not just because it's a lemon lime soda, but because I've seen the packaging that they use for cases of this, and it's very Sprite like. So I'm assuming that they did that for that reason. I'm going to be pretty weirded out if this is super, super different from a Sprite, but also that would be preferable, I guess. It'd be more interesting. Let's see what we've got here. Oh, 110 calories per 1 cup. The serving size is 1 cup. Apparently, there are two of those in here. This is a 500 milliliter bottle. Today I'm learning a cup is a quarter liter. I probably should have known that. Huh. Okay, that's news to me. I'm an American. We use stupid measurements. How does that compare to this Sprite that I have on hand as a prop? This is 20 ounces, so this is 230 calories. So this bottle at about 17 ounces is 220 calories, and this one is 230, and it's about 17, 15-ish percent more volume. 591 milliliters versus 500. Let's see, that would be 20, about 18% more volume. And this is very slightly more calorie dense. It doesn't realistically matter. I just do math as a hobby. All right. Let's see what we're working with here. All right. It's definitely not flat. Cap feels a bit oddly shaped. That's probably just because I'm not used to it. All right. What does this look like? I mean, it's clear, obviously, but I mean, like, how busy is it? Well, it looks like a Sprite. It's very fizzy. It doesn't really smell like a Sprite. Okay, that's interesting. Oh, what does that smell like? It smells almost like a lemon medicine, but very faint. I guess that's kind of reminiscent of a Sprite, but a little bit weaker. It is very fizzy. I'm pretty certain that you'll be able to see all these bubbles on camera. It's so bubbly. It's easily getting up to like here, popping out with the bubbles. That looks really nice. The entire inside of this glass is covered in bubbles and they are rising up through it constantly. They're not sitting on top. So, for a clear drink, especially, this looks very nice. The smell could use work. Let's see what it tastes like. Okay. It's not terribly spritey. Huh. So, my first thought is, and I could be really wrong about this because it's been a long time since I've had one for, I think, obvious reasons. It reminds me a lot more of a Sierra Mist than a Sprite, which sort of makes sense. They have a long-standing relationship with Pepsi, but of course, this drink is quite old. So I wonder if there was a formula change or if Sierra Mist was more almost kind of based on this. I didn't look up when Sierra Mist came out because I didn't see why I would do that. Um, or it could be a coincidence. Coincidences do happen all the time. We just don't notice them usually. Um, but there's something else there, I think. There's like a weird twinge to it. I think it might be the combination of the high fructose corn syrup and the cane sugar. It's an unusual combination to see in a drink, at least here. And usually if you're gonna add cane sugar, you just get rid of the high fructose corn syrup entirely. Um, huh. Okay, so I'm excited to have this for a particular reason. So this reminds me of Sierra Mist, and that's important for a very specific reason. And that reason is that IHOP has Pepsi products. Now, this is relevant because IHOP used to have this drink. I think it was called a Splash Berry. It was half Sierra Mist and half orange juice, and had strawberries in it. And it was the same price as regular soft drink, and it had free refills, which was very silly to me because orange juice didn't. And I used to love to get this drink, and I would drink the whole thing, and get my fork, and I would eat the strawberries out of the glass, and I would get another one. I probably drank three or more on more than one occasion, and I just found it very silly because a whole glass of orange juice does not have free refills, but a half a glass of orange juice with added strawberries does have free refills. Made no sense, but of course, Sierra Mist has been discontinued for years in favor of Starry, which I think is better, but which is a totally different drink. And this, I think, might be a way to make splashberries again. And I thought that drink was very good. Um, and so I am probably going to end up getting more of this to do that with. On its own, though, it's fine, I guess. Um, Now they claim that this is the number one Korean lemon and lime soda, and from what I was seeing before, that seems correct. But here's the thing: to be a bestseller, you don't need to be the best. You just need to upset the least people. Um, and I don't think that this would upset almost anyone drinking it unless they just hate lemon lime soda. But I also don't think it's particularly exceptional. Like many other lemon lime sodas, I think that this would do well with some juice added to it, maybe. Um, I mean, I do want to make splash berries with this at some point, but like that's not even what I meant. Um, just like in general, um, like like a Sprite and orange juice mixture, or pineapple juice. I'm getting ideas. Um, and I think that this would be great for that because it adds that little bit of citrus. It adds that carbonation, but it doesn't have that strong of a flavor on its own. Yeah, I cannot shake the thought of Sierra Mist. Um, I wish I had one to compare. Um, but obviously they don't sell them anymore, and even if I could get one, it would be years expired and probably not taste correct, and so that wouldn't be a useful comparison. Um, hmm. Yeah, that's what keeps coming to mind. Um, Smells still okay. This is a very visually attractive drink to be a clear drink. Um, Although I will say, in the bottle, this could be water. You kind of have to pour it into a glass to get that effect. Um, but it looks great. The smell is it's whatever. It doesn't smell bad. It's not very exciting. And the taste is better than the smell, I would say, but still not very exciting unless you too really miss the IHOP splashberries, which I do. Although part of that is just me being a cheapskate and really enjoying free refills. Um, they were good though. But yeah, this it's definitely not bad. Um, and I think I am going to get a considerable amount of mileage out of this as a mixer in the future. But on its own, I just don't think it stands out. And while I do think it is quite different to Sprite, I am going to give it the same score if I'm remembering right, and that is the Chilsung lemon lime soda or the Chilsung cider. Um, it's going to get an okay from me. Um, and if you do want to check out that Sprite video where you can watch me come to a similar conclusion about a surprisingly different drink, go check that out up there. Uh, Bye for now.